And we'll change it up. Another game that I think is going to be high scoring. Aston Villa hosting Brighton. A stung and down seagull coming to town. See what I did there?
There was a meme that I saw, or maybe it was a video, and it was a Chelsea fan, and there was a seagull squawking, and they put their fingers together and said, "Shut up." It was great. I'm telling you, I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to get our wins every now and then, right?
Oh yeah. When you finally get a goal of the month, you gotta celebrate for sure.
Exactly.
But this will be an interesting one. I think there will be goals. I think it'll be open, back and forth. Both these teams like to play, so it should be fun. Yeah, I'm thinking a basketball game, but I've gone for 2-2. 2-2. I think Matoma's going to have another field day. That's what he does. But Diaby could also have a field day going the other way. So Ollie Watkins as well. So it should be a great game. Actually, I thought that maybe Villa might edge it because they're at home, but also I think Brighton, going to have something to prove. Going to have a little chip on the shoulder after going out of the cup. They won't have wanted to do that, obviously. So this will be, I think this will be a bit of a bounce back, but I still think Villa will have enough. And so I couldn't pick a winner. I've gone for 2-2.
Yeah, it's a safe pick. I think it's a good pick. I've watched both teams in the last week. I watched Villa against Chelsea. I watched Brighton versus Chelsea. Of course, the Brighton we saw against Chelsea was maybe
half the team.
A-, B+ kind of team. Villa did not really inspire me last weekend. I really felt that Chelsea was very in control of that game until they went down to 10 men. I expected a lot more from Villa. Of course, Ollie Watkins finally gets on the score sheet. So, it was his first goal, wasn't it, for the season? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to say, yeah. Sure. I think Brighton's a better team. I think top to bottom. I also think that De Zerbi, he's not on the level of Unai yet, but he's getting there, and if not passing him, in my mind, because Unai's got so much experience, and he's played in cup finals and all that kind of stuff. But I got Brighton going 2-1 on this one. I wanted to go a little bit higher, but Brighton will control the ball a lot.
I have Villa winning 3-2, and here's why I have them winning 3-2. First, I was quite shocked to see that Brighton lost their last game, but then I was like, well, why did they lose? Right? I was like, what? Because I'm like, they're connected to their manager, and then I thought about the performances they've had since the rumor was released that Real Madrid said they want De Zerbi. And I think that has affected him because
they lost in Europa League.
I think that's affected him because
in the League Cup.
I'm being 1,000% real. We're all together on a podcast right now. If ESPN, even though we don't love their stuff, but if ESPN FC called us and they said, "Hey Jake," or "Hey Patrick," or "Hey Lewis," or "Hey X, we want you to come in and be in the studio," how much focus are we going to have right here, right? Even if we think they're awful, there's no way that you get called to the big leagues and you're just like, I'm gonna just do what I. And so for me,
I love you guys.
No, right?
But let's be honest, right? And so I say that because I think, as Patrick said, and he made a really good point, in which supports what I was thinking before I spoke it, is that Emery has experience. He's already managed those teams. He's literally managed the big time. And I think that's enough for him to be like, hey, so Madrid wants this guy? You remember me?
Yeah.
And I think that's enough for him. Because I think it's a manager battle. I don't think it's players. Because clearly, like Brighton was better than their opponent in the cup, and they lost.
Hey, I appreciate the backhanded compliment. All right.
Let's not pretend
That was great.
Let's not pretend like Brighton ain't better right now.
Yeah. They are.
So
there's no argument. Trust me, there's no
They
argument.
are.
I'm shooting straight. And so if you lose to a team who hadn't scored goals in
the whole month of September. Keep that in mind.
They hadn't scored goals. I'll just put it like that. We won't put a time stamp on it, right? And
you actually rephrase that. We have scored goals. They've just been offside.
In training.
Hey, we scored goal. Hey, DCIC had a goal the other day, but he was offside.
Brighton played a team that was on the cusp of not having a goal of the month. And Brighton scored a bunch of goals this month. And they lost. They didn't even score. How? Because
brick wall, man. It's a brick wall.
Pochettino didn't outmaneuver De Zerbi.
I think he did, actually.
He didn't. De Zerbi was like, Real Madrid wants me.
Maybe.
And you know what? Pochettino was thankful for that. Hey, man, appreciate you. We got our W. We don't care what distracted you. And I think that's enough because Emery, who's seasoned and has Villa flying, I think they win because of that. I think it's 3-2 Villa.
Yeah, there you go. We've all gone for something different. That's new. I've got a draw. Patrick's going for a Brighton win. Lewis has a Villa win. And we move on to another game that could be a big score line, but I'm expecting it to be quite one-sided. Olven's Company travels to the north to play against Newcastle, flying high, having just smashed Sheffield and defeated City. This one could get ugly, in my opinion, especially with how quick Newcastle can counter and the fact that Burnley still haven't figured out how to defend a counter. Could be a long day. Could be rough. It's probably gonna be raining. It's probably gonna be cold, gross. You know how Newcastle gets. You know how Newcastle gets. It's gonna be. This could be a rough one. I've gone 4-0 to the tune.
You went 4-0?
4-0 to Newcastle. Burnley, Newcastle will probably let them have the ball. You know, they won't sit back. You know, they'll press high, but they won't have any issue with Burnley having the ball, and they're going to smash them. Yeah, it's going to be rough. They're going to smash them. Yep.
Do we have Champions League next week?
We sure do. Well, with the term "we" loosely defined there.
Hey.
Well, that's two. That's two. So you had to get one in too, huh, Jake?
You know me.
It's gonna be funny if we actually start playing well. We end up getting like a draw against y'all.
Yeah, keep dreaming.
Hey, you never know. Never know.
Yeah. Well, what about this one? You got
2 agents, so you know.
You do have 2 inside men who have been doing their best to sabotage.
We got one at City now too.
Been doing their best to sabotage. Chelsea got agents everywhere, man. Good grief. Yeah. Speaking of agents, Lewis Hall played for Newcastle in the cup against City.
There are like 3 Chelsea players over at Newcastle.
Got like 70 minutes, yeah. But nice. I doubt he'll play I doubt he'll start versus Burnley. But you got a score for this one?
4-0 sounds really enticing. It was I was like, man, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 6. I'm gonna go conservative and go 3, and here's why. Newcastle has PSG on Wednesday at Newcastle. You got to think there's a little bit of a look ahead there. Luckily, they have a team, and then they're just better than. Sorry, Vincent Company. I I respect you as a player, but it just ain't working right now for you at Burnley, and eventually that will change. But I'm gonna go 3-0 Newcastle in this one.
Yep. What you saying, Lewis?
I'm going to say that this will be the only heart pick I make, and I'm doing it on purpose.
Oh my goodness, here it comes.
I think because Vinny is such a blue, he's gonna watch what happened to City against Newcastle and said, "I will avenge thee." And because he will avenge thee, they are going to go to Newcastle. And they're going to win 2-2.
Yeah. The Spurs victory.
The Spurs victory.
A Spurs style victory. I love it. I absolutely love it. Lewis, I gotta say, man, I'm enjoying the Burnley hype, on the pod here, and no, he said he's sticking with it.
Oh, sticking with it.
You got me caught up in it last week, but man, I don't know about this one. The 2-2 win for old Vince Company. You just hope to see that. Speaking of hope, as in no hope, Sheffield United travel to West Ham, and this one could be. I mean, West Ham are going to win this game, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Sheffield just got beat by 8 goals. I have zero faith in Sheffield. None. Zero.
But let's think about
Ollie McBurney's still out.
Score. How does West Ham score?
Counters.
Are they going to have counters against Sheffield?
No, but they might have free kicks. Corners. James Ward-Prowse.
That's true.
I've gone 2-0 to the Hammers, to the Irons. Could be a kind of a stop-start kind of battle of a game. And I hear you. There's not going to be space for those counters. But West Ham do have quality. Jared Bowen, James Ward-Prowse, Paqueta's playing good. Antonio will have a nice physical battle up top. Sheffield without Ollie McBurney are hopeless. And so, I think it might look like a battle, but in the end, I think it'll be easy work for West Ham. 2-0.
So my initial thought was I'm going to go for a draw. That was my initial thought. Let me just say that. Because again, the question of the week every week, can you break down a low block? Can you do it? When West Ham went to Luton, and they kind of faced that over and over and over again, they struggled to score. They did score, I think, on a corner kick though. So I mean, they're always dangerous in the air. You've got who's the tall guy that plays for them?
Thomas Suchek's pretty tall. Agaird's pretty tall. Zuma's pretty tall.
Agaird. So I mean, they're brutish. That's kind of what Sheffield wants to play because they know that they can't just beat you on skill or speed. So I do think it'll be a physical battle. Let's go 2-1 West Ham. Yeah, let's go 2-1 West Ham.
To the Hammers. What you think, Lewis?
I think that West Ham smacks them, and it just goes down, and they're going to be like, 1-0.
Wow.
1-0.
You're going to smack them 1-0. You're going to smack them 1-0.
Smackers, you've seen them.
Yeah, just a complete and utter dominance.
1-0.
Yeah, fantastic.